never done the Tokyo.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Los Angeles Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's coming up next.
Welcome, football fans, to the birthplace of America, the city of brotherly love. The place where you'll find the best cheesesteak made in this country and some of the best football played inside of Lincoln Financial Field. Hi there, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. You picked a fun one to tune into. I'm Kate Scott, joined by former NFL quarterback Brock Huard. And we've got two quarterbacks here, Brock, who are known for playing a very exciting brand of football. Not just throwing the rock, but taking it themselves, too.
Yep, these are two of the guys who really epitomize the direction that this position's going in the modern NFL.
Yep.
Pocket passers, they'll have their place. They always will. But a lot of teams look to somebody like this as a default. A great passer, but someone who can also mix in plenty of rushing yards and keep that defense honest.
Jake Elliott is out and ready to kick this one away. And away we go at the link. This return starts at the 5. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. So now out comes the Charger offense for their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by someone known for putting up numbers since he entered the league back in 2020, the Oregon product, Justin Herbert.
True story. First time I saw Justin Herbert at a Pac-12 media days, I thought, that can't be Justin Herbert. That guy looks like a defensive lineman. He is massive. But then you watch him play and you realize he's one of those 6'5", 6'6" guys that's the athlete of a 6'2". The way that he moves so effortlessly, the way that rocket arm could throw the ball all over the field, and hyper productive statistically. Kind of like that Fouts guy that wore the lightning bolt before him. On any given Sunday, this guy can put on a show.
2nd and 3 now. First run of the game for J.K. Dobbins. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
Third down run by Dobbins. He's got room to roam here. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
Win the early battle. Get a little leverage. Low man wins off the line, and that's all that was needed to ensure that first down right there.
First and 10, ball set up at the 48. Running it again with Dobbins. And he reaches midfield and starts driving into Eagles territory. Call it 7 yards, and now they'll have 2nd down and 3.
That's a run that you'll take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid gain, but it's also a run that you know, and you may come back to. Because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of a defense.
Running behind center with Edwards. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
Well, looky here. You don't even have to worry now about a third down call as that run moves the sticks. Now that call you had ready, though, you can recycle it. Save it for later for that next third down coming.
They have another 1st and 10 on this opening drive. This one from the opposing 40. Shotgun handoff for Dobbins. And this almost ended worse, but he gets a yard out of it. Zach Bond with the tackle. Manages just a yard on first down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
Here we go, 2nd and 9. This is reeled in by Joshua Palmer. And he's brought down at about that 27-yard line. 12 yards on that play, and a good call nets him the first.
As a quarterback, when you throw that curl route, you know it's a tight window, Kate, but the minute that DB turns and can't react to the throw, you put it right on your receiver's numbers, he comes back and gets it and moves the sticks.
Wideouts getting involved in the ground game. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss.
You know what that felt like to me, Kate? That felt like a little bit of overthinking, where he's just waiting for the perfect lane and the breakaway run. But against defenses in this league, you hesitate, you get tackled for a loss.
Here we go, second and very long. Caught by the tight end, running that corner. And he's able to get this down to the 13. They get 20 yards out of the play and move the chains.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
All set up now for 1st and 10. Now an inside handoff to Dobbins. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. The Chargers finish up an excellent opening series. J.K. Dobbins with the touchdown. Well, you couldn't ask for a better start to a game than that. The offense taking it all the way down the field and finishing with 6.
These opening drives, Kate, are such tone setters. It is why every offense loves to script their first 15 plays, right? Everybody knows what's coming. Allows you during the practice week to get into rhythm, but even better when you're that sharp, that crisp, and you finish off and get the early lead.
Dicker tacks on the extra point. And the Chargers will jump out to a 7-0 lead. Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. Return coming from the 6. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. So here come the Eagles for their opening drive. They're led out by an incredible score through the air and on the ground. He was picked 53rd back in 2020. It's Jalen Hurts.
Kate, it's not often that we talk about quarterbacks having a nose for the end zone in football. It's usually reserved for the running backs. But Jalen Hurts has changed that conversation. He has so much power, so much strength. You get him into the short yardage situations around the goal line, he finds a way to get in, but it's not just there. He's got a deep ball that's the envy of many. He's elevated his teammates around him, and he's got a skill set that I know a lot of quarterbacks would sure love to have.
2nd down now, 7 to go. Here's another carry for Barkley. And he's swallowed up in the middle, no gain on the run. Stopped by Deion Henley. Stuck to the ground, but nothing gained that time, and it brings up 3rd and 7.
You want to see the term read and react with a little video in the football dictionary? That's it.
Let's see what they draw up on these 3rd and 7. Hurts now from the gun. This one finds Goddard. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
That's what we call situational football. You spend all week working on your nickel passing game package to take advantage of 3rd downs just like that.
First down now, ball at the 39-yard line. They give to Barkley, left side. He's contained at the line for no gain. Sent to the ground by Khalil Mack. No progress on 1st down, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Made it all look so simple, didn't he? That linebacker sorting right through the traffic, finding the runner. That's instincts come to life.
So before they can get set and snap it, the clock runs out on quarter 1. Neither side separating much so far. We'll return to the link right after this. Ready now for our second quarter. The Eagles have the football. They start out 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. Completes this one to Jahan Dotson. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They strike for 23 yards. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
From a great throw to a nice route and catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
Man in motion, headed right. First down throwing for Hurts. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete.
You know, I'm not sure if he was hearing footsteps or just had a surprise break in concentration. So unusual to see one dropped unless there's a hit involved.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's second down. Shotgun snap for Hurts. Goddard makes the catch. And a nice gain here, but it stopped short of the first.
The goal of running that drag route is to get it to him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. They picked up a good chunk, and there was nearly room to add even more.
Extra defender in the secondary now for the Chargers. Third down coming. Option play. They give it to Barkley. And they bring him down after the play reaches the 26. 3 yards there and enough to move the chains.
Okay, you know me, I can't resist. I thought we might have needed the old Gene Steratore index card down there, making a really close measurement to see if he got the first down or not. But in the end, well, the right call was made. He got just enough to move the chains.
Motion man left is Brown. 1st and 10, here's Hurts. That one doesn't find its man, incomplete. Was Devontae Smith the intended receiver? And it sets up second down.
That play right there, Kate, that just goes to show you, you can't take any completion for granted. Even some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
So after the incompletion, here comes the second down call. Here's Hurts. Has a man, it's Brown. And they have this well into the red zone now at the 15. They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend, do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
The drive picks up here, 1st and 10. Running left, this is Barkley. Fights across for the touchdown. The Eagles finish off their opening drive. Saquon Barkley, the touchdown. For the offense, you gotta love it, Brock. Points to begin the game as he runs it in for an opening drive touchdown.
And you've got one very happy running back right over there on the sideline right now. These backs, they do feel the pressure to find the end zone every single week. It's not easy to do, but to do it this early and get out of the way, big time.
Now Jake Elliott on to attempt the extra point. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Eagles start off well to tie things 7-7. Elliott's all set for the kickoff. Darius Davis to return it. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down. The Chargers are getting the ball back as J.K. Dobbins runs out there. And after the impressive drive we just witnessed, you gotta imagine that they are hoping to respond with something similar.
Yeah, and I don't love to use the word can't, right? But this can't be a 3-and-out for this offense right here. They got to give their defense a chance to catch their breath and turn some of the momentum in the building.
And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. That one goes for 25 yards. And it brings up an LA first down.
Obviously, a defense wants to take away all the reads and prevent any kind of big throw for the first down. Fine. Well, this QB, he'll just lower his head and gash the defense with one of the biggest runs of the game.
From the pistol, it's Herbert. Got a man, Palmer has it. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They get 27 on the play, and the Chargers will have a first.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. And a lot of times it's for shorter yardage, but sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
They have themselves another 1st and 10. A give to Dobbins out of the shotgun. Room inside the 10. And he's finally taken down at the 7-yard line. 14 yards on a nice play there, and it gives them 1st and goal.
You know, Kate, if you notice those guys that love to feed themselves on the field, right? They love to just get more and more. They're hungry for even more. I'll tell you what, that tackle, it prevented something that's going to be a lot bigger, but that back remains hungry.
Has it in close. It's an LA touchdown. Great opportunity to find a touchdown there, Brock, and they come through with 6.
Receivers want the ball everywhere on the football field. But you start smelling the end zone, they really want their chance. And they will tell you as a quarterback, just give me an opportunity and I'll make a play. And he sure did.
Dicker on now for the PAT. The point after splits the uprights. And the Chargers break that tie and now lead by 7.
Eagles 7.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. This one's fielded at the 40-yard line. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The Eagles and Saquon Barkley ready to take over once again. It's a touchdown ball game right now, Brock. 14-7 as they start this possession. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. A play fake, now Hurts to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. He tucks it and takes off. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. Only one play in, Brock, and this drive already to midfield. And they send a man in motion. On 1st down, Hurts bails out of the pocket quick. Taking off with it again. And he's tackled for a short gain.
You know, Kate, they always say that QB clock, you know what it's more like? It's more like an alarm, especially in a situation like that. And it's a good thing you woke up to it, able to make something out of nothing and at least keep them moving forward.
Eagles hustling everyone back to the line. Hurts to throw. It's Dotson on the catch. Give him 15 yards on the pickup there. And that's good for an Eagles 1st down.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them the 1st down.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Throwing now from the gun. That's caught. It's Saquon Barkley. And he's gotten it down to the 30 before going out.
When there's heat, that blitz coming off the snap, that QB's eyes, you could see it right away. He got to his check down in a hurry. But, Kate, here's the key. Quarterback and running back have to be on the same page. The two were right there, and it netted some positive yards.
from the 30 on second down. Throws off the rip, but it's incomplete.
Hey, I know nobody's perfect, and all you have to do is listen to me and how many words I screw up. But you certainly expect those throws of that length to be 100%. They've got to be borderline automatic in this offense.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down. Running back sent in motion. On third down, it's Hurts. That's caught for the first. And they have this well into the red zone now at the 15. He picks up 15 on the play. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
I'm not sure how this defense let that guy slip through him like that. On third down, nonetheless, he took that snap as an opportunity, and man, did he make an impact play.
Hurts throwing again. Catch is made in close. And this is down all the way to the 3. Timeout taken by the Eagles. That's going to be their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. Four downs now to get in. Here's first and goal. They are throwing it again. And he gets in. Touchdown, Philadelphia! The Eagles earn the chance to tie it before halftime. That is a touchdown to one of their prime receiving targets.
This is really what you pay your skill guys for. You know, I had an old coordinator say, it's my job to get you a one-on-one. It's your job to go out and win it with a touchdown.
Elliott on now to attempt the point after. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Eagles tie things up at 14. Elliott's all set for the kickoff. Starting from the 5. This return makes it up to the 25. The Chargers returning their offense and this running back to the field. Not a whole lot of time left for him to put something together here before the break. A little less than 30 seconds to go as they begin this drive. Here's Herbert, first and 10. An alert play defensively there. Got a hand on it to tip it away, and that makes it second down.
With the pressure, boy, that sped that whole play up, and it opened up a wide range of outcomes. A hurried throw almost ended up an interception, and that wasn't until after they almost brought him down behind the line for a sack.
Runs into traffic and hits a wall, no gain. Josh Sweat making the stop. Philadelphia going to spend its second timeout. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. Third and 10. Can this offense get it done? They send one of the tight ends in motion right. It's another rushing play. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs. Timeout called by the Chargers. They're first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. Markers reset, ball at the 37. First and 10, here's Herbert. It's caught, this is Ladd McConkey. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. LA uses a timeout here, it's second. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. New set of downs for him from the 46. First and 10, Herbert. He's on the move. He's running with it. And he slides down with enough to pick up that first. Now, just before the break, a timeout taken by the offense, and they can try for some points going into the break. The Chargers sending out Dicker the kicker to add 3 to the board. From 37 yards in the right hash. Browns kick is up and good. And they've taken back the lead.
Well, I know once that drive stalls out, that's where it really pays to have that reliable kicker on the sideline ready to bail you out. And he knocks that one right through to give him the lead.
Well, Brock, barring the touchback, this kickoff should run out the half, so better make that return good as it's away. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. He's back to throw. Oh, he put some heat on this deep ball. That's caught at the 25. And somehow they've reached the end zone with no time remaining in the half. So late in the half, Brock, why not take a shot downfield? And their prayers are answered as they come up with that late touchdown.
You know, this is just a case of who wants it more. If you're in that secondary, all you're thinking is knock the ball down.
Yeah.
Even if you make some contact, right? They rarely call pass interference on plays like that. But somehow, some way, the ball winds up as a touchdown.
Elliott on now to attempt the point after. And his kick is good. What an ending to our opening half as they take the lead. We're at halftime here in Philadelphia, and the Eagles have soared to a lead at the break. Now we'll send you down the East Coast to Orlando. Turn things over to our buddy Jonathan Coachman in the EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Kate, thanks very much. And with that, we welcome you all into our EA Sports studios. This is the Halftime Report. The Eagles were led in the first half by their dynamic quarterback, Jalen Hurts. He came on after a slow start to fire 2 second-quarter touchdown passes and give his guys the lead at the intermission.
As always, a hat tip to Coach for his hard work during the break, as we're happy to welcome y'all back for the start of our third quarter. The first half controlled by the offenses, Brock. Let's see if the defenses can take over in the second half. We're underway. In pretty solid field position starting out here, Brock. He's tackled at the 29. The Eagles and quarterback Jalen Hurts ready to go once more on offense. And as we see some of the highlights from their showing, his work a big part of why they're in front right now. Having a nice, solid game as their offensive leader. I think we can say he's had a firm grip on the wheel and has really driven them to this advantage. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. First play of the drive, and he takes an option left. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
That's pretty good right there now. You don't always expect a sizable gain when you run it on 1st down. You just want some yards to set up an easier 2nd down play. But they will take that execution every time.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Hurts now from the gun. And that's incomplete. A little lucky there, too. Nearly picked off on 1st down.
I think I could see his eyes from the booth. He was envisioning the return and simply dropped it. You got to secure the pick before anything else.
Couldn't connect on 1st. It's 2nd down. Now they'll throw out of the gun. This one finds Goddard. And he'll get it up to the 44.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
To the air, 3rd and long. Escapes the pocket. He'll make a bid for it on the ground. And he'll be brought down after getting it to the 47-yard line. That's a pickup of 9. And that's good for an Eagles 1st down.
You know, before the snap, you know right before the snap you may have to take off if the read isn't there. That was a great adjustment, made at the perfect time for the first down.
First down throwing for Hurts. He's on the move. He's keeping it again. And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. Stopped by Deion Henley.
He made something out of that play for them. Everyone's so concerned with defending the pass, they didn't quite keep tabs on what he was doing as a QB, and it gave him just enough room to run.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. From the 41. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete.
You know, the goal on a lot of these short throws is to simply let the receiver create some yards after the catch, that yak. Well, I think he was thinking about the yak before he actually secured the catch.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Shotgun snap for Hurts. He has the first over the middle, and he's taken down at the 30. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the first down.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
First and 10 now from the 30. Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. Goddard makes the catch. And he has it down officially to the red zone at the 20.
Well, nothing very fancy about that. That's just a textbook curl route. I think they were running curl routes last century, and it's a play that works a high percentage of the time then, just like it did now.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. Straight ahead, here's Barkley. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that execution to move the chains. Now that 3rd down call that they had ready, well, they could stick it right back in their pocket for a later occasion.
They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal. They're going to run with Barkley. And he's brought down after a decent gain. 6 yards from there. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
Hey, I get it on 1st and goal, right? A lot of teams like to be conservative and limit risk. Even if a run is stopped short, you still got 2, sometimes 3 downs to play with.
They're lining up on the doorstep. 2nd and goal from inside the 1. And he runs it across. Touchdown! The Eagles grow the lead coming out of halftime. Jalen Hurts with the touchdown. Wow, Brock, hard to imagine a more effective play in their entire playbook for that particular spot right there.
You know, you get in this red zone, Kate, you want the ball in the hands of the guys you do trust the most to score. In a lot of cases, well, you trust your quarterback, and all he did was add to that trust.
Extra point up and good by Elliott. And the Eagles drive their lead to 11. Elliott's all set for the kickoff. On the return, here comes Davis. He's got a lane up past the 30. And he brought this one almost to midfield before he's tackled. The Chargers and this running back headed back out for a new series. So the Chargers start off with good field position as they get ready for 1st and 10. Back to throw, here's Herbert. He's got time here. An alert play defensively there. He got a hand on it to tip it away, and that makes it 2nd down.
You know, so often we talk about speed offensively, right? We love receivers that can run. Well, that was a perfect example of how speed kills you defensively. A hurried throw almost ended an interception. And that wasn't until after they almost brought him down behind the line for a sack. Speed's the difference.
That one's cut along the left sideline. And he's out of bounds just short of the 30. This one goes for an even 25 yards. And it brings up an LA first down.
Sure seems like he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got it, going right where he wanted to with the ball off the snap.
It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. Here's a give inside to Edwards. And they try to power it forward, but only a couple of yards there.
I think we got to be careful, and I'll raise my hand of thinking that play was just a nothing burger. Because what can happen from that, Kate, is you put some nice toppings on it. A play-action pass, a shot that comes down the road from what looked like a very plain play.
Herbert from the gun. Completed here to Johnston. And they'll bundle this up after a 4-yard gain. Zach Vaughn with the tackle. Here they come. This is 3rd and 5. Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. Finds a man right side. And he's brought down at the 17-yard line. They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, first down.
You know, it sure seems like he knew exactly where he was going with that before the snap. That's a pre-snap decision that led to a post-snap first down.
They'll come up 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone. He brings it in. And he'll get this inside the 10 to the 9. So we're through 3 here. The Chargers have the ball, and they're going to need to score. They come in trailing. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. Now Herbert again. Cut near the goal line. And that's a Los Angeles touchdown. All right, so the offense does its job, Brock. Now they need their defense to give them a chance to overcome that big deficit.
The momentum in the building's clearly changed. We can feel it here in the booth, but you're right. It's now up to the defense to make a stop and give them a chance.
Crucial moment of the game here as the Chargers try for 2. Herbert to throw once more. And he goes out of bounds. Wow, major miscue there, and they're not going to get 2. So a little pressure alleviated by the touchdown, but plenty still remains. Going to need to manufacture another trip to the end zone as they trail by 5.
This feels a little bit like a golf event to me, Kate, where those golfers will spend a big round not even looking at the scoreboard, not even know where they sit. But then when it gets down to winning time, they do know exactly what they need. And to consider that golf analogy, well, this team now needs a birdie when it matters the most.
He's stopped on the return at the 27. Philadelphia getting ready to go on offense. And after that touchdown, cut their lead back to 1 score, Brock. A response in order as they take over. On first down, Hurts. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. He was looking for Dallas Goedert there. And now it's 2nd down. Part of what's earned him status, Brock, is one of the league's better tight ends. Are those hands, right? His dependable hands. So shouts to the defense there because he wasn't able to hang on that time.
Kate, it's one thing for these defenders to separate a receiver from the ball, but to do so on a stud tight end, that's big time.
He goes back to him yet again, complete. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They'll get 31 yards on the play. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
You know, Kate, we often talk about flipping the field in special teams, right? A kick return, a good punt. Well, an explosive play like that does the exact same thing. Look at the difference in field position. By hitting on that shot, you've totally flipped the field and the tone of this drive.
First down, a run with Barkley. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. Give him around 6. That's going to make it 2nd and 4.
Fans love the long ball in baseball. It's like they got the home run derby, but you know what? Talk to managers and they will tell you small ball can win too. Singles and doubles, you add them up, you could win a lot of baseball games. Football coaches will tell you, you get runs of that length, it may not be a home run, it may not score points, but it can do some serious damage.
Falls to the ground out left, incomplete.
Boy, offenses that connect in this intermediate zone are so effective. Getting a completion in that area, it not just sparks your offense, but it just turns that aggressive meter way up. They just couldn't quite find the connection.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. He's running for it. And he's able to take this one down to the 25. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
Well, there was no sense in taking a risk down the field when a first down was just a run away. They'll get to reset now and figure out just how they want to attack a new set of downs.
He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. Taken in by Smith. And he's short of the first after a mild gain. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. From the 19. That's into the hands of Barkley. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains. Now after making that catch, we see he's shaken up. Trainer's heading out to take a look. To the line we go. They're set, 1st and 10. Out of the option, he's going to keep it going right. And he's going to get taken down near the goal line. It's a gain down to the 1. He gets him 9 on the ground. A good pickup and a 2nd down.
The difference right there, Kate, between that gain and a big hit for a loss, some really quick decision-making. He made a quick read, saw the running back was going to get hit if he handed it, and he pulls it himself for a positive gain.
They motion the tight end over. Now a shotgun handoff to Gainwell. And he's in. Touchdown, Philadelphia! The Eagles take an 11-point lead as they try to push this one out of reach. Well, in a close game, they needed somebody to make that type of play. Now it pushes their lead to a couple of scores and makes a comeback that much more difficult.
You know, Kate, their offense did its part and padded the lead. Now it's up to this defense to make this 2-score lead hold up and carry it across the finish line.
Elliott on now to attempt the point after. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Eagles push the lead up to 12. Elliott's all set for the kickoff. On the return, here comes Davis. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. Possession switching back to the LA offense as they head out. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. And he's going to bring it up to the 40-yard line before he's stopped. And that one goes for a gain of 11. And the Chargers will have a first.
When they draw up these plays for the quarterback, these are the type of results they're expecting, Kate. Something that could tear a hole in the defense, move the chains, and just as importantly, and maybe most importantly, put a seed of doubt and thought into that defensive mind.
Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up.
And right there's the danger, Kate, when you put the ball in the air. How many times do we see these coordinators, when you get a nice run, right, you gain some steam on the ground, you stick with the ground game. They don't, they call the pass, and the defense reacts, and reacts well with a sack.
Trying again, following the sack. This one falls incomplete.
You know, in the NFL, offensive-minded teams would call it a perfect Friday. They don't want the ball to hit the ground once. And especially on these short to intermediate throws, you got to count on those being efficient and effective.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down. Shotgun snap to Herbert. Just got it away before the hit, but it doesn't matter. It's incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
You need to buy your receivers enough time to get open along the route, and your quarterback enough time to find and hit them with the throw. When the line doesn't hold up, incompletions follow.
Third down pass didn't work, but the offense staying out there on fourth. They snap it to Herbert. He finds him beyond the marker. And they push this down to the opposing 47-yard line. They hit for 16 yards on fourth down, and a drive we all thought had stalled out is going to carry on. So that brings us to the 2-minute warning in Philly. Chargers need to score quickly. Down a couple of scores, but still some time left and 3 timeouts as well. It's 1st and 10. It's Herbert once more. This one is hit by a defender and winds up incomplete.
You know, as a QB, I'm going to note that in the back of my head. That was a heck of a break. Knocks the ball away. DBs like that, they tend to, once they get one hand on the ball, pretty good beat on you and can get 2 hands on it the next time.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's second down. Oh, he lost the football. And this is going to be a turnover. The defense forces the big play. And they limit the damage on the return, but it is still a turnover.
Those defenders see the QB keep the ball, Kate. They're hoping they could get a hit on him before he gives himself up. He got there in time, took full advantage, even hitting him hard enough to jar that ball loose.
The Eagles ready to set up shop on offense. And they should just be able to kneel out what time remains. There's 3 timeouts defensively still available, but using them is not going to alter this outcome. From the gun, a give to Gainwell. And the plunge up the gut yields nothing there. Timeout called by the Chargers. They're first, as they'll meet and decide what to do on this second down. Again, this is Gainwell. And not much doing. He stopped quickly. LA uses a timeout here. It's second. And they'll have just 1 left to burn now. Drive in dire straits. It's 3rd and 9. Motioning one of the tight ends. They stick with Gainwell. And he's tackled after gaining a handful. The Chargers call a timeout. That's their last one. And that's all they had. So the offense free to start running the clock down now. Now on 4th down, on comes Braden Mann to boot this away for the Birds. And before that return amounts to much, they bring him down. It's scored as a 51-yard punt. And the Chargers take possession. Now LA getting its offense all set to go. They lost it in enemy territory their last time out. Never a spot you want to fumble. So I imagine, Brock, it's going to be two hands on the football as they return to the field. And disaster averted. He knocks away the deep ball, incomplete. That one vehemently swatted away. So it'll be second down.
You know, I don't fault that look at all, Kate, downfield. It was just an excellent defensive play to deny him the ball and knock it away. That is good on good.
Second and 10 now, Herbert. That's knocked away by a defender, incomplete. That one firmly denied by the man in coverage. So they're left facing third and long.
You know, that is so hard to do. That's called body control. Great positioning to swat the ball away, not go through the receiver, no penalty flag. He's got the body control and, more importantly, the timing to knock that ball away.
Catch is made down the right sideline. And he made a bid for midfield there, but stopped on his own side at the 49. That's going to pick up the first down after a gain of 26.
Just about every defensive coordinator worth his salt says two things in every production meeting. Number one, well, we got to stop the run. And number two, we got to take away the tight end. Well, good luck doing that. Defending a big guy who can move like that, it's a lot easier to talk about than to go out and execute. Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, makes second and third down a whole lot easier to manage.
Chargers hurrying to the line as the seconds tick away. Herbert throwing again. Gets this to McConkey. They touch him down as he finds enough to pick up the first.
That pitch and catch won't show up as a big play on the stat sheet, but it gives his own defense a little time to rest and gives an offensive coordinator a new set of downs to work with.
Chargers hurrying to the line as the seconds tick away. Herbert on first down. A bit of desperation on this deep. Big shot is hauled in. Feet are inbounds. Oh, what a play! They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with first and goal.
One thing we don't have in football is we don't have that radar gun. But if we did, Kate, this is the kind of throw, when you throw it that deep outside the numbers, that requires a serious fastball, serious arm strength, and he just showed it off.
First down from the red zone. And all right, it's a touchdown in the final moments, so win still very unlikely, but a sliver of hope now after that play. Slant route, as it does so many times every game we call, Brock. Paying dividends. Made that touchdown look a lot easier than it was.
An uncontested release that close to the end zone spells disaster for a defense every time, Kate. You got to have a whole lot more physicality at the point of attack because a QB is always going to be looking for that short little slant near the goal line.
Dicker's extra point is up and good. And the Chargers trim the deficit down to 5. So with barely any time left, they need everything to break their way. And the Eagles are able to recover. And that should just about do it for us here.
Hey, the numbers don't lie. The numbers tell you, Kate, time and again, it is so hard to recover these onside kicks. And when you got an opponent prepared for it, well, that makes it even more difficult.
Your favorite formation, right, Brock? The victory formation here as he takes a knee. So it's an Eagles win here in this one. This is the type of game everyone was hoping they'd see when they entered this stadium, Brock, you and I included. A close one that went all the way down to the final whistle.
And Kate, this is one of the bigger adjustments a college player has to make to the NFL. In college, you get a lot of blowouts. The NFL, every game you get calloused because you know more often than not they'll be like this, a one-possession game. It's not about how you start. It's all about how you finish.
And with Brock Heward and our EA Sports crew, I'm Kate Scott saying so long from this one. The Eagles are winners as we say so long from Philadelphia.